Hello and welcome back once again to Belmont Bunch. Today, I exhaustedly come to you from my house. The Isles lose in double overtime. Man, I look exhausted mentally. I'm gone from this game. Islanders lose. It is now a tie series. We're going to Game 7 on Saturday night. The Isles outshoot Philly by about 20, 25. I forgot what the final count was. This is a bit of a rapid reaction, going right into it. So let's start from the end and go back to the middle. Yeah. All right, so let's start from overtime and work our way back from there. Obviously, the goal comes in second OT, very similar to the other two OT goals in this series for Philly, which have both been kind of point shots with traffic in front, and the Isles continue to struggle with that. I think it was Lee and Eberle were two guys that skated by the eventual goal scorer, Provorov. A little bit of puck watching there, and got to do a little bit better with that, I think. And also on this play, I mean, not something that you could really do much with. Mayfield stick breaks. I mean, what are you going to do? Philly was not the better team. And that might sound salty-ish, but I mean, if you look at the stats and you look at the chances, yeah, the Islanders were the better team. But Philly took advantage of their opportunities. And it's not always the better team that wins the series. Sometimes it's the team that takes advantage of the opportunity. You could maybe say that's better. I wouldn't, based on basically the Islanders, if you break it down by period, have been the better team for the vast majority. But Philly is really good at just staying in a game, chipping in a goal when they need to, and, hanging around even if they're not playing their perfect game. So we talked about the game winner there. Varley couldn't see it. Varley's been a talking point already on social media. Yeah, it's like none of the four were like extremely like you look at him and you go, oh my God, how did you not stop that? Because a lot of it was rushes, odd man rushes. The most stoppable one, ironically, might have been the one that he had the cleanest sight line on, which was JVR's second goal, which he just slapped right by Varley. And maybe, you kind of hope that Varley comes up with that one. And Trotz said as much in the postgame just now. Yeah, those. So the Philly goals, we'll go over them. Philly gets the first two in this game. First one coming from, I believe it was another kind of like drive-by traffic in front. A little bit of traffic. Great shot by Hayes, though, and a great pass. To me, I think it was Leo kind of darted into the zone off a really bad Lee exit. Lee got off the ice, so we didn't even get the minus on it. But Leo, a little bit too much puck watchy and aggressively towards the guy who ends up passing it, and then Hayes is able to put it top corner. Not a ton that Varley can do there. Second one is a bad pinch and basically a one-on-one with a little bit of pressure coming from the side from, I believe it was Mayfield or Martin. And JVR just blasted by Varley. And it's 2-0 there. And the Islanders do a good job of fighting back. They get a power play at the end of the period. Well-worked passing play. Brock behind the net finds Taze, who sees Brassard kind of calling for it. Brassard tips it in. Stick breaks after the play, and he does almost like a bat flip with a stick, which is pretty cool. That was end of the first period scoring. Second period, Isles come out playing really well. They played well for a lot of this game. After the first period, we were out shooting them. I think it was 10-5. Period two, more shots for the Islanders again, and they're able to cash in on a bunch. They get the second goal. Obviously, the third came through Lee on a really, really good bit of movement. Second goal comes, fourth line is working its way into the zone. Clutterbuck, I thought, had a pretty good game. He looked pretty fast tonight. I've seen some stuff that I've been encouraged by with him in the playoffs. This is a drop pass to Martin. Cizikas driving to the net. Braun trips Cizikas, who ends up going into the goaltender, Hart. But the shot from Martin hits off Braun's leg and goes through Carter Hart's legs. Those were some of the only ones going in on Hart tonight. But Alain Vigneault, once again, loses the challenge It's 2-2. Islanders get a power play. Islanders score on that power play. Barzal gets the puck from Eberle, shoots it. It's basically a shot pass off the pads of Hart straight to a streaking Lee. Very similar to a goal they scored in Game 1 of this series, except it was an actual pass instead of a shot pass. And it's 3-2. And, when the Islanders score more than 3 goals, you feel pretty good because they're not known to be a great offensive team. But when they can do that, and then they have the defense and goaltending they usually do, you feel like it's over. But just too many sloppy plays in the series. So Philly would tie it. Shot from the point. Surprise, surprise. Varley doesn't see it. I think it gets blocked before it reaches him. Lands right in front of the goal. It's slapped in, and it's 3-3. And it's just It's net front battles that the Islanders are losing, and Philly's absolutely dominating in that area. And I think it's fair to say if they win the series, that's a huge, huge way that they got there. Because all their overtime goals have been very similar to that. Get a ton of traffic in front, just toss it in there, see what happens. I'd like to see the Islanders do a little bit more of that. But when the Islanders try it, Philly does a good job of blocking the shots before it gets to the point of tipping it in. Isles take a 4-3 lead, very end of the period. Feels like, Keith Jones kept talking about it. Feels like a back-breaking type goal to give up a goal so late in the period like that. Great forecheck by Brassard. Falls onto the stick of Barzal. Barzal rips one top corner, short side on Hart. And yeah, you feel pretty good at that point. You win the period, you win the series. And in the third, we would get a power play, not do much with it. In fact, losing the puck at the point, which we've done a decent amount in the playoffs. And Scott Lawton gets a pass, breakout pass the other way. Taves, I would have liked to see Taves try to dive towards the puck and get a poke check in there before the pass gets off. He doesn't, and puck gets through. Bailey was kind of stuck in no man's land because he doesn't know if Taves is going to block it and he's going to have to pick it up or if it's going to get through. So it's more of a Taves loss on that one. And then Lawton puts on a really, really good move, and Varley couldn't steal one for the Isles there. So, like I said, all 5 goals, it's hard to say that he obviously should have had one. Same for Hart, really. Hart, though, stole more would-be goals, obviously, based on the shot count. But Hart stood on his head. Varley didn't stand on his head. That's the difference in the game. So, going forward, will there be any lineup changes? I would say not. Definitely not in the normal lineup of skaters. Goaltending, I could see it going either way. Varley, you can argue it's hard to get a guy a backup goalie really implemented into the series. That's been so hard fought when he's only played one in almost 2 games basically since he played 3 periods. Since that game 2 went to overtime, the game that he came in for the pulled Varlamov. So he's basically played 2 games of the series, and he looked pretty good in both of those. And so you can argue from that perspective, Kreis doesn't have the mental hang up now of losing 3 overtime games. He's only lost 1 of them. But man, I don't know. I all I know is that either way, I'll trust Trotz's decision because I feel like it's not been the coaching that's failed the Islanders. It's been some really uncharacteristic mistakes. The broken stick, what are you going to do? But, man, they got to get better in front of their own net. And that's going to basically be the difference in the series. And if Game 7 goes to OT, put all your money on us losing because that's kind of the way it's going right now. But, yep, that's the video. We'll see you next time. And let's go Islanders.